whatever we have a talent for, we're supposed to offer that into the field of pure potentiality, of pure consciousness. And there was a very interesting quote here. But I guess first, there's a quote that really stood out to me. But on page 99, because the book talks about how this is true abundance here. When you begin to know what your purpose is and you offer it into the world and you put it out into the ocean, and the ocean gives back to you, it replenishes you, and then you begin successful, and then you begin living life, and you're aware of it, and you're not tied down by things or by circumstances that could put you down otherwise. It ends up asking here, it makes a reference to the ego. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And it says, the question, what's in it for me, is the internal dialogue of the ego. Asking, how can I help, is the internal dialogue of the spirit. But another thing I wanted to kind of ask you to exercise that goes with this particular thought, because I find it really hard. I mean, I'm trapped by the ego a lot of times. I still have my moments, everyone. And for me, even how can I help? I mean, what I really try to focus on always is this energy that I have inside me. And that's number one. And the thoughts in my head are never number one. So remember that. It's when you're thinking something like, like thinking of this benefit, or when you're removed and you're thinking that kind of thing, like what's in it for me, or any kind of thought that I'm having that just pops right in easily, like the voice in your head, I kind of try and put that second. I try and watch that thought that I'm having, because whether it's good or it's bad, if it's number two, I can observe it. And I can see the thought, and I can say yes or no, because this is a good thought or a bad thought that I want to fulfill and manifest out of the unconscious realm, into the physical realm. Always think of yourself as awareness, because then you become the observer, to what you are creating in front of you. So, and if that's hard for you, then ask, how can I help? Instead of what's in it for me. Page 99 goes on to say, the spirit is that domain of your awareness where you experience your universality. So remember to be aware, and then you're universal. You are interacting with the universe, and energy is abundant. And just shifting your internal dialogue from what's in it for me to how can I help, you automatically go beyond the ego into the domain of your spirit. So it is kind of like, always remove yourself from this being thought that you are. Always kind of go inwards again. From awareness, observe the thought, observe the moment, so you can make the correct choice and correct any kind of behavioral problem, I'd like to say, that you usually have, like if you're a ticking time bomb, if you have a horrible temper and anything's gonna set you off, if you're removed from that angry side of yourself, if you can be removed, you can stop it. It's very empowering to always be present in the moment. So, and this is a real highlight of the book. There's like two really important parts on page 101. Ask yourself, if money was no concern and you had all the time and the money in the world, what would you do? So ask yourself that. If money was no concern and you had all the time and the money in the world, what would you do? If you would still do what you currently do, then you are in Dharma. Because you have passion for what you do. You are expressing your unique talents. Then ask yourself, how am I best suited to serve humanity? Answer that question and put it into practice. So a lot of the times when I write music, I really try to write something meaningful. And a lot of times before I write music, I do say a prayer because my brain, I need to quiet everything down, and I need that power. I need to tap into that power of stillness to let something flow through to me. And so I try and do that for myself. I try to serve humanity in that way, because if I create something and I have the intent for it to be meaningful, then I believe that, when I put it out there, when I release that energy, that sound, that others will find that hidden gift, find some meaning in the music that I wrote. And it says, discover your divinity, find your unique talent, serve humanity with it, and you can generate all the wealth you want. When your creative expressions match the needs of your fellow humans, then wealth will spontaneously flow from the unmanifest into the manifest, from the realm of spirit to the world of form. So it's this last chapter ties everything together. When you know what you want to do, and when you begin to not judge and notice the real energies, that there's this casing, but we are still so wonderfully connected with everything in the universe that we can create anything for ourselves.